The views on this program do not reflect those of ONTV or its board of directors. Welcome to Oaa Now, your home for Oakland Activities Association news and information. Here's your host, Sammy.
Welcome to Oaa Now. Here I'm Sammy between the blog of the Dragons Insider, blogger of Inside the OAA, and one of the hosts between 2 minutes on Orion Television. I'd like to welcome our friends hearing us on a local voice on SoundCloud, also watching us on Orion Neighborhood Television. Of course, got Ian Locke back this week after a...
Yeah, I'm back.
You're back.
Yeah, running around. A lot of work going on here at ONTV. Spring has sprung, right?
It has, and of course, the first part of spring sports are underway.
It's shocking. All of a sudden, boom, the script has flipped.
It's like
it's a little
we
sunny
had snow,
outside.
Now it's sunny, and there's some green grass coming out.
Green grass?
Yeah, there's green grass now.
Where'd you see that?
Look at outside our studio right now.
Yeah.
We got a lot to talk about. Recapping girls basketball season. Southfield Arts and Tech's.
Would you say the season ended in a whimper? Or
ended in a disaster if you're Southfield Arts and Tech. Yes, that was a complete disaster against Saginaw Heritage in the state final. We also got to talk. We got breaking news around the Lake Orion Avondale boys basketball teams, and of course, we got a little bit of a track lacrosse preview to talk about.
Cool.
Let's go to our main story, of course, which is the recapping the girls' basketball season, and of course, Southfield Arts and Tech's painful loss to Saginaw Heritage. That was 55-40.
Yeah, I came across it late after it was over. I think I tuned into the D4 game.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was either D4 or D3 game.
Well, D4 goes first, then it's D1.
Okay, so it was
then D3, then D2.
It was the D3 game that was wrapping up.
Mm-hmm.
And there were some close games, I think on that side of the ball, or that side of the bracket. But then I saw the results, and I just kind of took my breath away about Southfield A&T.
But the game, the first time these two teams played, I saw the game. The first time these two teams played in December, this Lane Ever Prep. The Warriors lost to Saginaw Heritage 45-43. Now, we knew coming in the game what Saginaw Heritage had.
Yes.
And Mariah Joyner, Shrine Strickland Gills, Mallory McCartney, but we didn't expect, I didn't expect in the scouting report that I got was Keanu Champion going off in that game against Southfield Arts and Tech.
Yeah.
Now, I thought Saginaw Heritage took advantage of some things. What really bothered me about that game was Southfield Arts and Tech's inability to defend the three. That really bothered me.
Yeah, they killed him from outside.
And then once Southfield Arts and Tech was forced to defend from the outside, then Shrine Strickland Gills got going.
Yeah.
What bothered me in that game was Alexis Johnson getting into foul trouble early. That was your game right there.
It happens.
And I said last week that if Alexis Johnson gets into foul trouble, this team has problems. They got no bench, and it showed.
Yeah.
Now, luckily for them, Saginaw Heritage only also went 6 deep. But for me, it tells me that this team really relied a lot on their starters. When you look at, of course, Kiana Willis, you had Soda Barnes, Barnes was carrying him early. I mean, she had, out of the 10 first quarter points, she had 8 of them.
Whoa.
Shia McEvans, Alexis Johnson, Jasmine Worthy. Those are the starting 5. I thought in that game, once Alexis Johnson got in the foul trouble, this team was done. They were done.
Yeah.
But
it's also, you can say it's game planning by the other side, right?
Well, Heritage did not go to a 2-3 zone. They never went to a 2-3 zone until this game.
Well, there you go. You threw something at them that you're not expecting, and you don't just throw a zone at them.
No.
Obviously, they've been prepping for this and going, hey, when are we going to release this? When are we going to do it? How does this impact the competition that we're going to be playing against?
They took away Southfield Arts and Tech's ability to dribble drive.
Yeah.
Basically forcing a shooting team, which Southfield Arts and Tech was not coming in.
Great game plan.
It was a great game plan.
The coach of Saginaw.
Bonnie DeLong.
Yeah.
Bonnie DeLong.
Props. You got to give them. because that's a game plan. And then to say, hey, we're going to take it to them outside. Who's going to step up?
Yeah. Mariah
And-
Joyner's a Michigan State commit.
And
goes
she goes off. So it's one of those things. Think of it. The game plan is this. If the outside shooting's not there, then what? But it was there. So under tough conditions, any championship game is a stressful situation. I don't care what level you're at, right?
It really is.
You're excited to be there. You're ready to go. You got a game plan. You roll it out.
And
Sometimes it
think
works.
that was
Sometimes it doesn't.
I also think that was another difference was the experience factor. Saginaw Heritage was in the state final last year, knocked off East Lansing, and Southfield Arts and Tech. They haven't been here before in a long time. They were in a Final Four.
So you got a little
years
nerves
ago,
going,
so
right?
Kind of got a little nerves going there, but still,
Did they meet up early in the regular season?
I mentioned that.
Yeah,
yes.
okay.
Yeah, that's Lane Ever Prep. Yep.
Okay.
That was their only loss coming into that game.
So, yeah, I mean,
But
and knowing what they are and having the team from Saginaw prepping the way they do, making adjustments from the first time they met, right?
But when you look at this game, I thought, Southfield had all the motivation. Everything.
Well, I'm sure.
Everything.
But so is the other team.
I mean, Heritage thought that they were the underdog coming in this one because Southfield Arts and Tech was number 1 in the state. They had the Heritage had some very tough losses. Of course, that tough loss to Maitland Dow early in the year.
Okay.
They ended up avenging that one. I thought personally, when you really look at what happened that game, that I didn't think Southfield A&T was ready for that zone. I really didn't think they were ready for that zone. And then all of a sudden, you have Mariah Joyner shooting threes on you.
Yeah.
And
if they're dropping.
You know what I mean? And a lot of those, some of them were not contested shots. And I was shocked at, another thing that was shocking was they shut Alexis Johnson down, forced her to get frustrated, forced her into getting some bad fouls against her, and that's your ball game right there. But
I
think what was disappointing to me was Southfield Arts and Tech's inability to use their bench. That's what bothers me with this team. Considering that, you got 5 very talented players, but as I mentioned last week and 2 weeks ago, you got to use your bench. Your bench is going to be the one that has to carry you. In games where, okay, your starters are struggling, I know you have 2 D1 players on that team, and Johnson and Soto Barnes, but there's going to be games where you're going to need someone to come off that bench, and nobody really produced on that bench for Southfield A&T this year.
Yeah. But that's the makeup of your team. That's what you have. You try to develop your bench, but if you have players like Southfield A&T that are so head and shoulders above what you got running on the bench, you got to kind of run with it.
You got to run with it, yes.
Right? I mean, what do you do? But
I'll be honest with you, I think Michelle Marshall could have game planned this a little bit better.
Think so?
Because there has to be a time in a game where you have to use your bench a little bit more. Where you can go at least maybe 7, 8, 9 deep. And I think that falls on the stability of the program there. And you're relying on transfers. I get that. You have, of course, Keanu Willis with the Detroit Renaissance transfer. You have Soto Barnes this year, transferred in from Ohio. You have Jasmine Worthy, transferred in from Groves. I mean, you're relying on transfers to basically carry your team, and there is a double-edged sword to that.
Yes.
There really is.
But I also think I agree with you, Sammy, on that. Because if you're pulling from elsewhere and you're not developing the local, like you were talking in Clarkston a while back, you go, they're developing local guys, mainly.
They started developing their local guys again.
Yes. And, for years it's helped them out, right? Because they know the system, they come up. It's kind of like here in Lake Orion, the football guys, it's like middle school, you're playing the same system that's happening at the high school level, right? And I know a lot of school districts do that. You go, but you're right. If you don't have that bench and if you're just doing this, it's almost like a one and done situation. You got guys coming in and then,
That's what it is. And that's something that really bothered me in that game was the inability of Southfield Arts and Tech to go to their bench.
Yeah.
So now this leaves another question. Does Michelle Marshall come back next year to coach his team?
Why not?
Considering that
How many is she losing?
she loses 2. She got 3. She loses Lexus Johnson. She loses Soda Barnes.
Yeah.
She does return Jasmine Worthy. She does have Cheyenne McEvans. And, of course, she has Kiana Willis back. So that's 3 or 5 starters back. But the question still becomes who's your bench production? Who is your and a lot of people thought last year would have been Marshall's last year. But now, really? And then she came back this year. So now this opens up a new set of questions. Does she come back? And I know at her press conference, she didn't even address her future. She hasn't even addressed her future yet.
Yeah.
But if everything points out, if Southfield, if they do lose Michelle Marshall, I think there's a couple candidates on that bench that could be really good candidates.
Go in-house.
Yeah, you got to go in-house with that situation because I think that program is better off with somebody in-house than it is out-house. So outside the house. So
yeah.
I think when you look at Marshall's got a decision to make here. And the question's going to be is, does she have enough in her tank to come back after a loss like this? Considering next year, you've got a pretty decent team coming back. You're probably going to be the top team in the OA next year in girls basketball again. But I think the competition is going to really increase for them, considering you got West Bloomfield, who's going to be who has basically everybody back knocking on the door.
And what do they have coming in from the junior ranks, to fill in the void? Do they have anybody?
Here's the problem with Southfield's Arts and Tech sub-varsity programs. Here's the problem. They have not been very good, neither of them. Which when I look at the decision that Southfield made to hire Marshall over Jamie Glintz, you kind of had a feeling their sub-varsities were going to have an issue. But under Marshall, Southfield Arts and Tech has really blossomed in the varsity level. He went to 2 Final Fours, state championship appearance. Until you develop the program, you ain't going to go anywhere.
Yeah, and we're kind of dragging on the bummer that they didn't take the title. Yeah. But what a year! What a year they had.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic.
They played a ridiculously tough non-conference.
Exactly. I mean, they did everything you've asked them to do, or of any other team. We've seen teams do the cupcake schedule, and what did it get them?
Where'd it get them?
No, nowhere.
Yeah.
Right.
And look at this team like Southfield. They have played a
murderer's row, and you know what happened. I mean, they proved themselves. They were conditioning themselves to a first state title run, which they did.
And their big win in the semifinal against Muskegon, that was really huge
sure.
For them.
What was the score on that
54-50. That was,
close.
But that was a game almost Southfield gave that one away. They had a really good start, and then all of a sudden it's like they had a really great start, and then all of a sudden it's like, here comes Muskegon. They're going to test that depth.
Yeah. But
so I was thinking in that game, I'm saying to myself, oh boy, here comes, they're going to test the depth.
Yeah. But that's the nature of the game. In that if you look at that final game, you have 2 quality coaches game plan against one another who've met each other already in the regular season.
Yep.
And know the tendencies, know the scouting report, know exactly the positives, negatives of both teams. Believe me, both coaches knew what they were getting into going to that finals.
Oh, they knew.
And the wrinkle going to zone.
Yeah,
I think that's a great. And
then you had an unexpected player in Kiana Campion who stepped up her game.
Nuts, yes. So, but that happens. We see it at all levels, right? I mean, the NCAA tournament's rolling right now. You got guys that all of a sudden, guy drops 9 on you that usually averages 2 a game. You see that just. It's all in how the individuals react to the situation, and if they feel going in that they have a great game plan, then you can relax a little bit and just start chucking the ball. And you make one, you're going to make another one.
It happens.
Yep.
I mean, it happens. I mean, so now when we look at, of course, we answered do you think Michelle Marshall comes back next year?
I think so. Why not? Why bail unless you have another opportunity that's just too good to turn down? Come back. Why not?
I think that would be a good idea for her to come back. Maybe go one more year out. I think go one more year. I think that would be a really good. You still got Shine McEvans backing up Jasmine Worthy.
Yeah.
You're going to have Kiana Willis. I think
Unless there's stuff behind the scenes you don't know about, and it's just kind of driving you nuts.
Well, that's the thing, and
Because we know that can happen.
We know that can happen. Obviously, I mean, we know that can happen. Let's go to the state of the girls basketball teams finishing the year, finishing the girls side of things, and
Sure.
what teams are you looking at next year? When you look at the season that the whole league has had, of course, the red division champion this year was South A&T. The white champion was West Bloomfield, and the blue champions were Rochester and Berkeley. I think a lot of questions do linger heading into next year for these teams.
And some teams are moving.
Yeah. Well,
right?
Hazel Park is the only team that's going out.
But anybody moving up divisions?
Well,
do we have a projection on that yet?
I do have a
projection. Because that really changes the scope, too. We've seen that.
As mentioned, I said last week, I said West Bloomfield will go up the red. I really think West Bloomfield will go in the red. In the white division, it's going to be tough, you know what I mean? But the question is going to be, does Rochester and Berkeley have enough talent to make the move to stay? Because this is a whole complicated mess here, because now with Hazel Park departing, you know, I think the league's going to stay put.
You think so?
I think the white will stay.
Because now you're have to move somebody moves. There's an equal move now, right?
Well, right, yeah.
So if one goes up, some of these got to come down.
Somebody's got to come down. I think the team that's going to go down is North Farmington. And the team in the white's going to go down. The blue's going to be Farmington. I think that's going to happen.
So how many teams now total?
It's going to be there's 21 teams, so I think it's going to be some format.
All right.
And when I look at projecting the divisions next year, I'm seeing a division where the white's going to be really, really competitive next year. Really competitive. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me next year. The white division has at least all those teams has at least 10 wins next year.
Whoa.
That's how bold I am with
Wow.
it. It would not surprise me because you looking at the quality of those teams next year, it really wouldn't surprise me. Now, a lot of those teams got some questions. As mentioned, of course, if you want to look at my basketball storylines book, it's up there on the blog at Sammy@blogspot.com.
Yeah, check it out, you guys.
Yep.
A lot of good info on that.
And then you got to look at, of course, the red. I think West Bloomfield is going to really make a serious hold at Southfield A&T next year. I really do.
Ooh.
Because look at who West Bloomfield's got back. You got Maya Bobo. You got Logan Lewis. You got Lola Chambers. You got Jemiah Elam. I mean,
pretty much everybody's
back except for Jada Grady. I like where Burt Mosley's got this team at. The only issue that I have with West Bloomfield is their non-conference. They played Wall Lake Western early in the year, but I think they got to play more tough teams. I really do, and it showed in their loss to Heartland. That that different styles of play, you're going to have to adapt. And West Bloomfield right now kind of knows one style, and that's the run and gun approach. But when you're playing a team that has a lot of bigs like Heartland does, and especially when you're going up against a 6'4" player like Whitney Solomon, I mean, like
6'4",
that's going to be really tough. You know,
yeah,
that's going to be really tough. And I think for Burt Mosley, I think play tougher teams. I think if you play Wall Lake Western again, I think if you play Heartland again, I think if you play Heartland, maybe because they're playing them. Also, play tougher, play tough teams.
You think any coaching changes besides potentially A&T? Do you see any? I haven't any
heard
rumors,
anything.
any rumblings?
I haven't heard. I mean, I haven't heard any rumblings, but there's a lot of uncertainty over at Rochester to what I've been hearing. We don't know the status of Jeff Haney yet, but we will keep an eye on that. Also,
because that affects everything too. I mean,
yeah, it does affect everything, especially when you have a coaching change. When you're going through a lot. Another one we're keeping an eye on could be Ferndale. I know Ferndale had a first-year coach there, but we don't know where the status of that's going to be heading. So that's a big question there. to keep an eye on. So a lot of rumors going around surrounding the girls basketball situations and all that. But it'll be very interesting to see what happens with the girls basketball.
Well, no, I
situation.
mean, let's see. When does that usually kick around? July?
Yeah, usually around. Well, the
Or
MHA districts will be
June.
released in June. We will have a full
Yeah.
preview on that.
And the coaches, if you're gonna some kind of hang on until the end of the school year, then you find out what's going on.
But then you got to know your summer league programs. You got to
Correct.
put that in. I think there's a lot of teams that have great storylines heading into the offseason. I think there's going to be very interesting. I'm curious to see what happens at Royal Oak. Of course, the departures of Jessica Adams, Samantha Potter, Nia Conley. I mean, and that next crop of Ravens there. I think that's a team I'm watching very carefully. The whole white's going to be a storyline for sure. The whole white. If you look at all those
if it
teams,
comes out to be the way you're saying, I
whole
want to start this season today.
Yeah, the whole white's going to be a storyline.
I want to see that season start today.
Yeah, I agree with you. And then, of course, on the blue side of things, if it's true, I'm watching Seaholm very carefully. I'm seeing how they adapt to Chris Manchester's second season there. Also, I'm watching Berkeley, and I think that's a team. A lot of people will ask me about Berkeley. Why did you bash Berkeley all year? Why did you attack them all year? Despite the fact that the team won 16 games. I want to see how Berkeley does against a very tough non-conference schedule. I would like to see them play tough, and I think they're more than capable of scheduling a non.
Aren't you supposed to be wearing a shirt or something?
Yeah, I don't have it yet. They haven't. Berkeley hasn't sent it to 1349
Joslyn Road, ONTV, care of Sammy Taramina.
Yeah.
That would be great if that showed up. Oh, man.
Oh, that would be
we call the local newspaper. We do a special on that one.
Why would you do that?
Because it's hilarious.
How would that be hilarious?
Sam, knowing you for as long as I have, I haven't heard you be humbled like that in a long, long, long time.
I am humble. I'm a humble individual.
Well, I know, but maybe the humble's the wrong word. But the way you were going about it, and then all of a sudden I say a little bowl of crow.
Look, I'm telling facts from facts here. I'm telling facts from facts here. When you look at teams this season, of course.
I know, but it's just so funny.
It is. I mean, but I'm still saying Berkeley's got an incoming freshman who's going to be very good next year.
Okay.
They got another freshman who's going to be a sophomore who's very good. But as mentioned, program strength, big question for them.
Yes.
But I'm also curious to see the rest of the league, how they do. So we shall see what happens going forward in the girls' basketball docket.
And putting a bow on the season. It's
putting a bow on the season.
All done.
And you know who I didn't mention this year?
Who?
Stony Creek.
Oh, yeah.
They're a team I'm watching carefully because they lose Emily Eckhout, they lose Megan Solik. But they have Lily DePanny back. That's gonna be a team worth watching. Also Bloomfield Hill's another one. So basically, the teams I'm watching are most of the red, all the white,
yes,
and some teams of blue. I'm keeping an eye on very carefully. So we'll see what happens going forward. All right, let's take a break now. We do got some breaking news we cover. We're gonna cover that on the next segment here on Oaa Now.
This is Lake Orion's own, the local voice. Call ONTV and get on air 248-393-1060. Let your voice be heard. Internet radio for all. Call ONTV and get on air.
This is the local voice, where you can listen to your favorite classic rock songs, as well as podcasts created by ONTV and its volunteers. If you're looking for a high school sports update show, we have Oaa Now. If you want to hear about some great movies, we have Movies for Dumb Guys. You can also create your own podcast by taking a course with us. For more information, call 248-393-1060.
Welcome back to Oaa Now. Here I'm Sammy Turner with Ian Locke.
Hey.
Our college basketball team's in the Sweet 16.
I know, man. Both.
Michigan State. Michigan State's in the Sweet 16.
What did they say the last time that happened was at
2015.
Yeah. Well, not too long ago. What do you? I know I don't want to get too stray off our high school angle here, but what do you think their chances are of moving on? Both.
I think it could beat Duke.
You think so?
Yep.
Well, you got to beat LSU first.
Yeah, got to beat LSU first. I think they can beat LSU.
And Michigan's got their hands full. What is it?
Texas Tech.
Texas Tech's
I'm
looking
a little
real.
disappointed. You can ask Joey and Chris.
Yeah.
Because I did their podcast last week.
Yeah.
And my Buffalo pick ain't going too well.
Oh no!
I had them in the Elite Eight.
Everybody picked them to do well.
I had them in the Elite Eight.
Yeah, they were the feel good story of the tournament. But boy, did they kind of.
Yeah, I was
There's
very,
what? Hey, good defense trumps good offense. Sometimes,
very
right?
disappointed in Nate Oates' team, though. Very disappointed. I know Nate Oates, local ties here in the Detroit area.
Oh, yeah?
Of course, he coached at I believe it was River Rouge, or
Okay.
somewhere. So I got to figure that out. We got some breaking news to cover here. 2 boys basketball coaching openings are now open. Of course, the jobs over at Avondale and Lake Orion.
Surprising it. Like
Yep. And then Avondale, of course, Tim Morton leaving to focus on his business over at where he works at. I don't know where the business he works at,
Okay.
but he is stepping down from Avondale. And Lake Orion, of course, Jim Manzo retiring from teaching at the end of the school year. So that's gonna be so that made news. Of course, the job at Lake Orion was posted a couple weeks ago. The Avondale job, I'm not sure if that's been posted yet, but it has been confirmed that both jobs are now open. So when you look at the coaching gigs over at Avondale and Lake Orion, let's go with Avondale first before we talk about Lake Orion. The Avondale gig, of course, Avondale had a really interesting year last year. Went 9-13. They did pick up a big upset of West Bloomfield in the district round. They do have a couple pieces coming back. Of course, I know when I look at the boys situation, how that unfolded, it was shocking that Avondale's coach stepped down.
Yeah. Well, in Lake Orion as well, you got 2 solid years in a row.
Yeah, you've had 2 solid years in a row, and the cupboard's not bare there.
No, but you can understand. I mean, if you're stepping down from this teaching and you're moving away, you're stepping away, life transition into something else, and
it does. But when I look at the Avondale gig first, I think when you look at it, they had a kind of a bit of a resurgence. Like in the past, Avondale, they've had a good year. I mean, they've had Tim Morton's led that team back to respectability, back to and they do got some questions. You know what I mean? They still got to address their post situation over there at Avondale. They've got some good kids there. I mean, so now, if you're Avondale athletic director, I believe his name is Ken Gust.
Okay. You think
don't
that's
quote me on that.
You think
you got to replace your basketball coach, and I got to replace their football coach. So that's going to be really tough.
Do you think Avondale's a destination spot? Do you think they can get a veteran in there, or do you think it's more of a stepping stone, or the way they're moving forward? You might be looking at. I think
Avondale's a destination spot. I really do, because I got to give Tim Morton's done a really nice job with that program. You look at a coach like Bob Lee's, a legendary coach who was an assistant of Gary Fairlick at Troy. He took over that team, and look where it got Avondale. 18-2, 18-3 year. I mean, Avondale, you got a great athletic director to work with there. You got a great community there, great kids down there in Auburn Hills. I think that it's a destination job. I think if you are a upcoming coach, if you're a veteran coach there, I think that's a great job to have. You got a ton of talent in the middle of Oakland County. You got I-75 right in the background. I mean, and you got great kids in the Auburn Hills area that you can get, and I think that's a great area. I think it's a destination job.
Yeah.
Let's go to the Lake Orion.
Yeah.
We wanted to bring up this job a lot because, as mentioned, the talent pool is not bare. It's not. You got some players coming back there. When you look at players like Cameron Sutton, you look at Jack Cummins, Isaiah Harris, Dylan Bogenheimer, Drew Van Heck. I mean, those type of players, and you have a JV team that is looking to be that had a really good year as well. So when you look at Lake Orion, to me, this job is right now. It is it's a destination job. When you look at this job, especially what Jim Mansel's done with the program, bringing them back, in his 4 years.
Yeah, and the last two were just so
30 and 13.
Yeah, really, really good. And they've had some up and downs with coaches coming in, doing a pretty good job, and then leaving, or they fall apart. There's a lot of. It seemed like there's some other factors in there that affected the team, but it seemed like they got them all straightened out, and on the ADs supporting. The athletic department's behind them. They're doing great. The community support for the Dragons is high because how well they've been doing, and the student body's behind them, right? And it's like you said, it'd be interesting to see if they're going to stay in the
I'm going to
district.
put you on the spot right now.
I'm going to put
you on the spot right now. If you're Lake Orion Athletic Director Chris Bell, knowing that when you go in-house, you have been very successful.
Yes.
When you look at, of course, John Blackstock with football, Bob Bridges with girls basketball. But when you look at, of course, your outside hires, of course, Mike Griffin a couple of years ago pans out here. That really didn't work out.
Yeah.
If you go outside the box, it could be a little risky.
You think so?
I think it could be a little risky because if you go in-house, I think it could be a solution.
Well, we've seen other schools do that too. I mean, we're looking at Harrison and where that crew ended up, right?
Yeah, John Hursting.
Right, they distributed them throughout the district, and that worked out great.
Yeah,
right.
That ended up working out really good. Now Hursting's at North Farmington football,
and I'm excited to see what happens over the next couple of years with that group. Right. So you see, having current employees or people in the school system already, it's an added benefit. One. You're
in the building.
Well, you're in the building. You know the kids. You have a vested interest to do well, or at least be focused on what's happening here. You don't have outside distractions, right? You don't say, "Well, I got a fishing business to deal with. I'm leaving." I go. A lot of the teachers who come into the district or are part of the district in some way always seem to do. I'm not. I don't have any scientific studies in front of me, but it always feels like they're there a bit longer. The roots grow a little deeper, and you can really develop the relationships with the kids and the families and the community to get something successful going.
But Mansel's done a wonderful job with this program.
Yes.
He did a magnificent
well, that's why
job.
You announcing that to me this morning, it's like, whoa.
He did a wonderful
surprised.
job with this program.
Yeah.
I mean,
what were they before he showed up?
Well, remember, this was a team. Remember, he's had 2 stints with this team.
Yeah.
Of course, he brought back, he took over for Tom Reese. And Reese had a really rough year. But in Mansel's first year back, David Gomez, Noah Harris.
Yeah.
Those two had really good years.
Yes, they
really
did.
great years. And you look at where Gomez became, he's one of the most underrated basketball players in the country. You have Noah Harris, another one. They're both playing college basketball right now. You have another one in Jamie Lewis who's playing college basketball. And then you have Nate Talbot who's now going to be at Wayne State. So Mansel's developed talent.
Yeah.
That's not a question. But he's made people better in life, you know what I mean? Make players ready for post basketball and get them better in life. And a lot of people respect, and a lot of alums love Coach Jim Mansell for what he has done.
Yeah.
But now when you look at this team now heading into next year, you're likely in the red. And you're looking at what coach does this program need right now? And I think there's a ton of questions that this program has. You do have the talent. You have the talent back. Yeah, you do lose Nate Talbot, a guy like Nate Talbot, but you have Dylan Bogenheimer. You have a Drew Van Heck. You have a Cameron Sutton. You have a Isaiah Harris or Jack Cummings. I mean, those players are going to be instrumental to your season. And you've got to, if you're the new coach, you have got to develop the trust in those players. Because if it's your way or the highway, you ain't going to last long. You really aren't.
Yeah, and especially, like we've talked about it before, coming in, let's say.
If you're an outsider.
If you're outside, the program, coming in, here's the system I run, it could throw everything out of whack in a way. You'd hope that you'd say, hey, these are the pieces we have, these are the strengths, these are the weaknesses, and you formulate your attack, the offensive schemes, defensive schemes based on the talent you have.
But when you look at a team like Clarkston, of course, Dan Feist stepped down, after last year. Now you bring in Tim Wasilic, who's been a loyal to Feist, teaches in the district.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't miss a beat.
Nope.
They did not miss a beat. If you hire a man's disciple, I think this could, then I think you wouldn't need to miss a beat. But if you hire somebody outside the box, then it could be a little dangerous.
Yeah.
So
are they going to roll the dice?
That's going to be something worth watching, is that Lake Orion situation, because that is a big-time job right now.
Well, too, thinking about it, if he's stepping down due to retirement, right? He's going to step away from teaching.
Yeah.
That would have been known in advance, wouldn't it? Usually.
Mm-hmm.
You think?
I don't know.
So if it's maybe known in advance that they have a line of succession in place or a plan,
I don't know. And I think that's going to be a decision up to Lake Orion Athletic Director Chris Bell.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think there has to be pressure on Bell. You know what I mean? To get this hire right. And I think that it's the same thing with Gus over at Avondale. To get this hire right. I think he got the girls basketball hire right over at Avondale. But I think when you look at Lake Orion, you got a big community. You got a lot of kids in this district.
Yes.
You got, of course, you're going to be, you're likely competing with the likes of Clarkston, North Farmington, Oak Park, West Bloomfield. Even Adams, maybe Ferndale. There's some things you got to look at, in a coach. You got to look at, okay, how is he going to do relationship-wise with parents?
Mm-hmm.
How is he going to do relationship-wise with the players? How are they going to do relationship with support staff? That's the big question that I see here with this hire.
I think they go in-house. That's my gut.
I'm curious to see what happens. I'm curious to see what happens. It wouldn't surprise me go in-house. Look at look at John Blackstock, what he's done with the football program. Went in-house. He's led Lake Orion in the playoffs.
Yep.
And now you look at the girls basketball. Of course, he went with Bob Bridges this year, and look where it got him. Bob Bridges had a really nice return back to respectability this year with the girls basketball program. I expect the girls next year to be better.
Yeah.
So this is a job where we got to keep an eye on, you know what I mean? Both jobs, Avondale and Lake Orion in the boys basketball docket. Now, this is not going to be the end of it because there could be more coaches stepping down. But right now, those are the two jobs right now that are really in play right now are those two jobs.
Announcing them early gives you a chance to really see what you have.
Yeah.
And get some candidates in and really do the review properly so you're not rushing at the end of the year. We saw some coaching changes coming so late in the game last year. August we're talking.
I know.
Or the end of August.
End of August, you know what I mean?
Some of those, I go, that is such a disruptive
and especially when you're trying to do summer league ball, you're doing everything, and and then you're kind of like right behind the game a little bit. And I think that's kind of what happened to Bridges over at Lake Orion, with the girls basketball team. Of course, he was hired so late in the game where he couldn't put a summer league.
Yeah, it can be disruptive.
It could be very disruptive. So those are the jobs we're keeping an eye on, are the gigs over at Lake Orion Avenue for boys basketball.
And any others that open up, Sammy will have the breaking
We will have the breaking news on those. We haven't heard anything on the Avondale football nor Pontiac football situations as of yet. We have not heard anything from that as of yet. Let's take a break here. Let's focus on the spring sport preview, spring sport outlook here on Oaa Now.
Music, weather, sports, and you.
Me?
Yes, you. You're listening to The Local Voice. You're listening to The Local Voice, Lake Orion's community internet radio.
Welcome back to Oaa Now. Here I'm Sammy here with Ian here.
Hey.
Of course,
Spring sports.
Got spring sports here to talk about. We're gonna start off a very interesting sport. Let's go with girls lacrosse first.
Okay.
I mean, like
Games are underway.
Yep, games are underway. I got a very good correspondent, of course. I like Dave Silcox very well. I mean, like he does my weekly updates on Birmingham's girls
lacrosse team.
Lacrosse team,
Fantastic. See, that's what we're talking about. Having partners with this show to give us information, share it with everybody, share the successes, tell us about players who are really kicking it out on the field. Let us know what's going on.
When I look at girls lacrosse this year, when I look at the teams there, you got to put Birmingham in that conversation.
Always.
You got to put Bloomfield Hills in that conversation.
Yes.
Now
Lake Orion too sometimes,
Lake Orion
right?
sometimes. Oxford, you got to definitely put them in the conversation now because and you got to put Clarkson in that conversation as well.
Isn't it amazing how the girls' lacrosse game has morphed into this beast that it is now?
It is starting to morph into this
Isn't
beast,
it? It's like there's a lot of quality teams now going at each other. I mean, the OAA has really developed these teams. Was it about 10 years ago, started here with ONTV, right? Doing games and stuff, getting to know you and the guys. And I learned lacrosse from the mom and dad team that started over at Lake Orion High School, taught me the game because we were recording it. And I'm like, hey, this is pretty good. And next thing you know, boom, here we have all these programs and competitive teams on the women's side.
Here's
It's
the
fun.
thing, though, in the women's game.
Love it.
Still got to deal with Rockford. Rockford's the team to beat.
Yeah, I mean, on the state side,
they're
they're
Rockford is,
yes.
but in the OA side, it's either going to be Birmingham or on Bloomfield Hills.
Yeah, anybody on the east side has had a hard time breaking through on the state side.
Right. They're gonna have a very
against the
hard time.
west at state level.
Well, particularly when you look at a team like Heartland, of course.
Yeah.
Heartland's always been a solid lacrosse team.
Yeah.
But
yeah, OAA, man, they're climbing up there. They're climbing. They are nipping at the heels of the big boys.
They're climbing up there, getting better each day. But a team, my dark horse candidate in lacrosse this year on the girls' side is Oxford.
Okay.
I like how that team's developed. I think Lake Orion's a little bit down this year. Very, very young team there, but
good feeder program though. Get them young.
But until you beat Birmingham and Bloomfield Hills, that's the league's gonna go through that. And you still got teams in Troy, Athens who are going to be good up there as well. You got Clarkston, who's not bad there as well. So, but I still think until you beat both Birmingham and Bloomfield Hills, nothing's changing.
Yeah.
Nothing's changing there.
Yep. And we'll be out at a couple games. ONTV will be out recording some of these lacrosse matches.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they record them up at OCT in Oxford. I have to check on that.
They do.
If you get a chance, check them out. They're a lot of fun. It's different. It's more, how do I explain it, Sam? It's not as smash you over the head with the stick and checking.
That's
like
boys.
The guys' game's just brutal.
Uh-huh.
The girls is more finesse. It is speed and a lot of skill, and if you have 2 to 3 players that can really run, if you have speed, boy, to go end to end, and they play on the football field, right, or the soccer field. It's a little bit larger than
on the soccer field,
but it's a little larger than the football field, right?
It is.
So, but they're going end. There's end to end action in the girls' game, and it's just amazing that they get these soccer players, or former runners and stuff like this, sprinters, and that's what makes it exciting because of the speed. You get some of these teams out there that have just unbelievable athletes on that team running end to end and throwing this little ball around that's the size of a cue ball. And it's a lot of fun.
It's
It
the same
really
thing
is
with
a
the
lot
boys
of fun.
game. The boys game a little more.
Boys games
crazy.
is crazy. There's a little more like changing on the fly and stuff moving around and checking, and it's.
I think Clarkson's back in lacrosse.
You think so?
I think they're back. I think they're going to be a team worth watching. Lake Orion's got some questions this year. Very young.
They had a good
team.
run.
Had a good run last year. Bloomfield Hill's going to be very good. I think they're going to be good.
Yeah.
You still got Birmingham United. They're going to be solid. Oxford's a team worth watching. But when I look at the OAA in general, I mean, you got Troy Athens is going to be pretty good as well. But when I look at lacrosse right now on the boys' side of things, till you beat Clarkson, Clarkson's got everybody back. Could be very interesting. That's the team I'm watching in boys lacrosse is Clarkson.
Yeah, me too.
Not much comment there.
Yep. But it's getting underway. Games are starting. So if you get a chance, get out there and watch those student athletes in action. Cheer them on.
Girls soccer, I still think the class is at the Stony Creek, but you got Troy Athens. Worth keeping an eye on along with Troy. Adams, another team worth watching. Let's go to our favorite sport, track and field.
Yeah, it's
league play starts this week.
It's unbelievable. I just think that it's so fast.
Let's go with the favorites in the division. Let's go with the gold division. Do you think anybody's touching Oak Park in both boys and girls, even though Oak Park did lose a lot?
I keep the same mentality as I do with Clarkson football. Until they show me otherwise, I'm picking them as the front runner. On the girls' side, they are so good, and I mean they've done it year in and year out.
I give Giles a lot of credit for what he's done over there.
Heck yeah! I mean, there never seems to be a fall off. I mean, right? Am I wrong?
Same thing with the boys over there.
Yeah, I mean they're just they just have such
but
quality
I
athletes.
I also give credit to that AAU team he's developed bringing those Detroit kids to Oak Park.
Absolutely.
That's been huge for them.
Mm-hmm.
Blue, I think when you look at the Blue, I still think it's going to be watch out for West Bloomfield. I think they could be a team worth watching.
When with West Bloomfield, it's all about depth.
Yeah, it's all about depth with them. That's the problem.
You know, and they have there's stars and the 1, 2, and 3 years that it'll go out there and you know what they're going to do.
Girls, I'm actually watching Farmington, especially in the throws of Val Pallett. I mean, like Val Pallett's the real deal. I mean, she can throw. She's already has the discus record over at Farmington.
Whoa.
She's probably going to get the shot put record, but it wouldn't be by the end of her 4 year. She's going to be a sophomore.
Whoa.
You know?
See, that's fun. Young talent coming into that.
She throws it off the spin technique, and I'm really impressed with that.
Ah, you don't see that often in the high
school. She ran it in middle school. She ran the spin technique in middle school.
You're kidding.
I'm not kidding you. She ran the
Good
spin
for her.
off her. Yeah. And then and then when you look at the white, you got Stony Creek, Bloomfield Hills, and the white,
Stony Creek, the distance side of things. Again, we always come back on the girls' side, the distance.
Yes.
Right? The cross-country team, up and coming. Right? Feeding that track team on the 32 and the milers.
I think they get, a lot of them usually come from Hart, you know what I mean, to go to Stony Creek. Yes.
Yeah, and they always have a solid program at the county level on the middle school side, right?
Yeah, Hart, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like, you got a couple Hart kids.
Mm-hmm.
You got a lot of Hart kids. Maybe some Ruther kids that go there.
Yeah.
That's
a good call on Stony. That's
team I'm watching carefully on both sides, boys and girls. Troy's another one I'm watching.
They're
a dark horse.
Yeah, they on the girls' side, the distance they graduated some top talent. Right, so
forgot to mention on the blue side, Seaholm's another one I'm watching.
Yes, always feeding them.
Yep, Seaholm's another one I'm watching.
Yep. And they've got some young distance runners there that could be multi-event pain in the necks to a lot of teams around the OAA.
Oh yeah, and then let's go to the red. We talked Lake Orion girls track could be the favorite. Could they be favored or could it be Clarkston?
Well, this is going to be interesting this year because 2-time OAA Red champs coming in, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're going for a 3-peat.
Yep.
2-time regional champs.
Yep.
4th in this state, I believe it was.
Yep.
D1.
Yep.
Put a lot of runners at state meet last year. and they lost, I think, 1 or 2 that competed. The rest are back.
Mm-hmm.
So, but their the key losses were some people that scored a lot of points for him over the years.
Well, yeah, Maddie Eaton coming back. Yeah, Melissa Simons coming back. Those are
Simonback's
gonna be
state
huge.
champ in the 300-meter hurdles.
Those are gonna be
and
huge.
She could be challenging the 100-meter hurdles.
That could be challenged.
Yep. And so can they repeat? Yeah, that's a good question, Sammy, because Clarkston always nipping at, I mean, those two, I mean, it's a rivalry in football. It's a rivalry in basketball. It's a rivalry in track as well. And what you have is just a loaded distance field again at Clarkston. They won.
But the question
but
for them is sprints.
It is the depth, right?
Sprints
but
is
I
the
have
question.
Yes, the sprints, and how are their field events? That's something you'd.
The field events are interesting over there.
I mean, Lake Orion usually
Lake Orion
is
usually
equal or
is equal,
superior.
yeah.
I mean, it's pretty close. I mean, the dual meet last year between Lake Orion women
Went
and
down
it was
to
like
throws.
it
went down to field events.
and it was 1 or 2 points. It was
Mhm.
very, very close, and it was a surprise. But this year they got Sophie Novak for the whole season, and she's been training. And I mean, Lake Orion and Clarkston runners were out at New Balance National Indoor, so
Mhm.
they know each other. There's a lot of good camaraderie between these two teams.
Dark horse to
But
watch is
crazy.
Oxford.
Oxford, yes. Okay, so
Freshman class.
rumor has it they've got a freshman class that they haven't had
Went up
in,
against
in
them.
years, and we've seen the middle school feed, at least on the women's side, a lot of fast runners and quality and depth and huge numbers participating in track and field up there at the
Usually
middle school
around
level.
200,
Huge.
275,
Yeah,
usually
it's
around there.
Completely ridiculous. And if they get half of those 8th graders coming in, quality runners coming in, they might be soccer players. You never know. But there's only so many slots on the soccer team at the high school level, right?
Right.
And yeah, rumor has it that so what is Lake Orion and Oxford go ahead? We're going to see Oxford right out of the gate this Wednesday. So that dual meet between Lake Orion and Oxford is going to be interesting, to say the least.
And then the boys' side of things, you got to watch Oxford.
Do we have a clear favorite?
There's not really a clear favorite, but I still, right now, you would have to say Oxford with their balance. Now, people say, why not Lake Orion? You know what I mean? Why not Lake Orion? I mean, like, Lake Orion did lose. They lost some talent last year, but they did gain some talent.
They did, and the guys' side, it's what's really carried them is
And they took second in Eastern.
Yes, which is a good sign.
Yeah.
And we'll see how they. I mean, they have 2 distance studs on the team.
Yep. Okay.
And Nolan.
And Nolan.
Right. So you know what you're going to get with them, but you also see Oxford and even Clarkson to some extent. There's always a distance. 1 or 2 guys that are going to go after each other, and these
Mhm.
guys know each other so well.
Yes.
But like you said, how are we in the sprinting? What's the jumps look like?
How are your relays looking?
Yeah, relays are key. A lot of points in relays.
A lot of points.
Yep. I'm going to throw out a couple dates for people to keep an eye on there, Sam. I got a little website open here. The Oxford Invitational is one that do I have it up here? Tri-County. Yes. On
That's gonna be
Saturday,
fun.
April 27th.
That'll be interesting.
That is a amazing event. So you have a lot of OAA competition in there, but you also get teams from all over the state.
The country.
Yeah, and we've got Chicago teams coming up to go. Like last 2 years, we had teams from Chicago coming up specifically to go against Oak Park, just to see where they measured up. And what did they find out? The OAA is more than just Oak Park.
Yeah, the OA is more than Oak Park.
And Lake Orion gave Oak Park a run for their money on the girls' side last year. That kind of surprised them. I think they were like, uh-oh. Ultimately, they proved superior at the county meet and all that good stuff. But it's a lot of fun. There's a lot going on, and
That's one I'm looking at.
that's a great
Another
invitational.
one I'm looking at is going to be the one at Farmington. I think that's the
Yes,
New Balance
New Balance
Invitational.
Invitational. That should be on here.
That's always interesting because you get a
May
lot of
4th.
hype surrounding that.
Yes, and it's a great format. It's like a regional type format, so you get the flavor of qualifying for states and going to the regionals, that sort of thing. So that's always exciting. And then Oakland County Championships. You want to see something that's completely amazing. is that, regionals is the only way you can get to the state meet, right? But you want to see speed,
Oakland
go
County.
to the Oakland County meet.
I think this year's at Clarkston.
It is.
This year's at Clarkston.
I know. So not a lot of travel, but that meet itself is so fast. In some instances, it's faster than the D1 state meet.
That's a lot.
From top to bottom, the quality performance you're getting. I mean, you're seeing D1 recruits, signees just doing amazing things at the end of the season.
That says a lot right there.
It does. And they're sending runners all over the country to D1 programs, from Colorado to Wisconsin, Michigan, you name it. They're sending these runners here in Oakland County are all over the place.
They are. Let's go from track and field. Let's go to baseball, softball here.
Yeah, baseball.
Baseball.
Weather should be good for them to get underway.
Weather should be good, yes.
Last year was horrible.
The question is going to be, there's really no clear-cut OA team favored in this. There's really no clear-cut. You got Lake Orion, Clarkson, Adams, Stony Creek, Rochester, Groves, West Bloomfield. I mean, there's just a lot of. It's hard sport to figure out.
Yes,
baseball is.
It is, because you could have a clear favorite and it just doesn't work. It doesn't pan out.
I think the OA is going to be very, very even keel this year. Even Steven. I really do. There's really no clear cut. There's really
softball's the same way, but usually you have your top.
No one's touching Clarkson.
3 or 4 teams.
No one's touching Clarkson. Sorry.
Calling it?
Yeah, I'm already calling it. No one's touching Clarkson. I mean, that team could be a state championship team this year. That's how good they are.
Wow.
Now, Oxford could, maybe Lake Orion, but no one's touching Clarkson.
Yeah.
Sorry. I think water polo's going on.
Yeah, water polo's going on right now.
I don't do much coverage.
No, that's still a club sport, so that's just kind of getting off the ground. And
then tennis, of course. I think tennis.
And
then you have boys golf, I believe.
Yes, a little bit of golf action.
Golf action. I still think it'd be very interesting. I think that. Yeah, I remember that golf issue a couple years ago.
That was last year
regionals.
What a night! Okay, we got to investigate that to see if they changed any rules.
Yeah, we got to look.
Because
I'm gonna look into that.
That was nuts.
All right, I'm gonna sign off here. I'm gonna go look into that investigation.
Yeah,
Take care, everybody. See y'all next week.
See you, Sam. Look into that golf thing, Sammy. That was crazy. If you'd like to make your own podcast like Oaa Now, give us a call at 248-393-1060. ONTV now signing up for podcast classes as we speak. Join us next week on this episode of Oaa Now. The thoughts and views on this show are Sammy's and his alone. See ya!